When Valve launched the Steam Machine, everyone, including Valve, saw it as a PlayStation 5 competitor, a living room console. But after weeks of daily driving it, the picture flips entirely. This is not the best gaming console. It is the best desktop PC of 2026. And the reason why changes everything about what a PC can be. The Steam Machine was positioned as a console. Small form factor, living room focus, couch gaming. That was the pitch. But the actual product tells a different story. What Valve built is a compact, quiet, reparable desktop computer that happens to run games. The distinction matters because it reveals something about product intent versus product reality. Valve designed hardware constraints that align perfectly with desktop use cases. The cube form factor fits on a desk. The silence matters in office. The lack of RGB signals seriousness, not gaming. And the repairability through iFixit parts partnerships beats most pre-built Windows machines on the market today. This was not the plan. Valve was chasing the console market. But by building a device that prioritizes quiet operation, compact design, and component access, they accidentally created the machine that desktop users have been asking for. The console framing was wrong from the start. The desktop framing was always the right one, and the software seals it. Look at the hardware choices. An M.2 slot for storage. 2 DDR5 SODIMM slots for memory. iFixit parts availability. These are not console decisions. Consoles use soldered memory and proprietary storage to lock you in. Valve did the opposite. They chose standard PC components in a console-sized enclosure. That combination is rare. Most small form factor PCs solder everything to save space. Most reparable PCs are large and ugly. The Steam Machine splits the difference. It is small enough to disappear on a desk, but open enough that you can upgrade storage and memory without specialized tools. The DDR5 choice matters specifically because it means the memory bandwidth scales with future generations of integrated graphics. The M.2 slot means you're not paying for storage you do not need at purchase time. An iFixit partnership means the supply chain for replacement parts is not dependent on Valve goodwill. It is institutionalized. This is a hardware philosophy that treats the user as an owner, not a tenant. Underneath the interface, SteamOS is Arch Linux. But that description undersells what Valve has done. They did not just package Arch and ship it. They sponsored upstream development across multiple open-source projects. KDE Plasma handles the desktop environment. Flatpak handles application distribution. Each of these pieces existed before Valve got involved. What Valve contributed was curation and integration. Arch Linux is powerful but notoriously hands-on. KDE Plasma is flexible but inconsistent across distributions. Flatpak solves dependency conflicts but lacks a unified storefront experience. Valve took all three and built a coherent product on top. The result is a Linux desktop that does not require you to be a system administrator. Switching between gaming mode and desktop mode is one button press. Monitor detection works without configuration files. Pointer acceleration is off by default, which is what anyone who cares about input precision wants. Window snapping works correctly. HDR settings sit in the open. These are not features. They're decisions that someone made on your behalf. Compare the SteamOS experience to Windows, and the gap becomes concrete. On Windows, changing your refresh rate requires navigating through display settings, advanced display settings, and then finding the drop-down buried in a submenu. On SteamOS, it is a top-level option. HDR on Windows is a labyrinth of compatibility modes and toggle switches spread across multiple settings panels. On SteamOS, it is right there. Pointer acceleration on Windows is on by default and difficult to disable completely. SteamOS ships with it off. These sound like small things. They are not. Every friction point in an operating system compounds over thousands of interactions. When you close an application on Windows and reopen it, you sometimes get a phantom window stuck on a virtual display that no longer exists. SteamOS handles this correctly. The desktop mode remembers your window positions. KDE Plasma detects unusual monitor resolutions immediately without manual configuration. These are basic expectations that Windows has failed to meet for years. Valve met them. The gaming performance is modest. That is the honest assessment. The Steam machine will not run Cyberpunk 2077 at 4K on ultra settings. It is not competing with a high-end gaming rig, but that framing misses the point entirely. The target user for this device is not someone building a 4K gaming setup. The target user is someone who needs a reliable desktop for work, browsing, media, and light gaming. For Chrome, OBS, WhatsApp, VLC, and Office tasks, it is snappy. No lag, no estúteres, no background processes eating resources. The performance trade-off is real, but it is not the trade-off people think it is. You are not trading performance for a different operating system. You are trading peak gaming performance for a better daily computing experience. Most people need a computer that does not interrupt them with forced updates, does not show ads in the start menu, and does not send telemetry they never consented to. That is the real trade-off. The implications go beyond one device. For founders, freelancers, and indie builders, especially in markets like Morocco, the Steam machine represents a concrete signal that Linux is ready for the desktop. The cost math is straightforward. No Windows license. Hardware priced around $500 to $700. Flatpak provides an app store experience for thousands of applications. Development tools are all available. No forced updates, no ads, no telemetry. But the second-order effect is more important. Valve is not building a one-off product. They are investing in Linux as a long-term platform. Driver support will improve. Application compatibility will expand. The ecosystem around SteamOS will grow. If you're building software, designing workflows, or making purchasing decisions for a small team, the Steam machine gives you a viable alternative to Windows that does not require compromise on usability. The year of the Linux desktop has been a running joke for 2 decades. In 2026, it arrived wearing a console costume. Watch what happens next. If Valve opens SteamOS to third-party hardware, the desktop market shifts. If Microsoft responds by cleaning up Windows, users win either way. Try SteamOS for a week. The experience speaks for itself.